Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to City Skylines Mass Transit. And as you can see, I've been busy. Because we didn't really do that much in the grand scheme of things last time out. I wanted to kind of really do a lot of groundwork and get all that kind of put in place for when we came back. So, last time you were here, we spent a long time building our brand new interchange here where the two highways connect. And what I've done since then is everything else, as you can see. So I started off, I built this roundabout junction here, and this is not to join highways together as such. It's to have, sort of this dual carriageway here, this bypass road that will lead into this area over here to come up to the freeway, and then also there'll be a bypass road that'll go out this way, and then once we move into that area, we've already got our main sort of junction to the freeway there itself. And from here, our bypass kind of splits off. So we come to this roundabout here, and we've got a split here for the bypass road to go all the way around there, like a ring road kind of thing. It also runs through the centre of this sort of build-up area over here, and then kind of terminates at this roundabout here. A lot of development to do over here. We need to kind of terraform these hills out the way a bit, but that's horrendously expensive to do. And I've burnt through some of my money quite quickly just terraforming a little bit around here, which is why I've had to kind of be very careful how I spent the 600,000 or so that I had left. And then over here, what I've done is I've created a whole series of districts. So coming off this bypass here, again, we go straight here into an industrial zone. So I've got two main industrial areas. I've got this one here, which is going to be sort of a commercial industrial estate. So this will be making general industrial products, for commercial goods and stuff like that. I've got another area here, which I'm kind of going to be setting up a lumber industry. And then over here, this is going to be a small business park. So this is going to be offices. And then we've got a commercial park over here, like this. This won't be used for a little while yet. Actually, I need to change the one direction road on this, but this is basically for when I've got enough spare cash, I can bring the railway over and along down here and then connect up a freight rail terminal just there. So we've got a nice kind of rail hub which can then feed straight down this two-lane road and back up to the industrial area over here. So still got a little bit of tidying up to do, as you can see. Got a few bits and bobs that need to be removed, like these spokes to keep the structure and shape of our roundabouts intact. And on the other side here, we split off. This is going to be entirely residential. So you can see we've got nice, good districts set up here. I've got a few essential services placed around. So there's a nursery school, like a kindergarten, in each of my two residential districts. And then I've also, near the middle, I've got a high school just here as well. Got a bus station up here, so we can actually plan in some bus routes and link all of our areas together. Got a medical centre just there. I've got police and fire just here. And then some power lines kind of dropped in place to distribute power around the area where needed. Over here, you can see I've got my bus depot. So this is where my buses will be able to sort of be stored when they're not in use. And I've also got, at the moment, because, again, money is tight, a single incineration plant. These are like 30 grand each, so I can't afford another one of those yet. But here is a nice little setup over here as well. So again, we've got a medical centre, a fire station and a police station so that they can service our business and industrial and commercial zones over here. So I think we're pretty much ready to go. I've got, if I go to the right tab, I've got water piping laid across the whole area, and I've also dropped in a couple of parks here as well to really ramp up our commercial zone. We're going to be starting with low density and then kind of boosting our way up to high density. That is kind of the plan, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, one other thing as well, I've just terraformed a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit more terraforming again when I have the money, but I've terraformed a little section going in, and then it's kind of flattened out because I've put in a quayside, which is part of these tools here, the water structures, so we've got obviously access to canals and everything, and flood barriers and stuff, and we can also create keys. Now these are actually quite fiddly and can be quite tricky to get in place, but I've got one here, and this is where I'm going to be mounting my water pumps, and we're going to really create a really in-depth water distribution centre in the future. But the buildings I want and the way to lay it out is going to be very, very expensive indeed. And then my outflow pipe is just down here, as you can see. And again, we'll have a big proper, at some point in the future, we will create a big proper sewage treatment facility and have like channels that will run through the city, almost like, I suppose, the LA storm drain system that can then evacuate that into the river. So that'll probably happen way down here as we expand and move down here. But this is going to be starting off with low density and moving up to high density, and it's kind of rigid in its structure, but I needed to get something efficient because we need to start earning money again. So this will undergo some slight changes, but essentially this is going to stay pretty much as is. There'll be a few tweaks here and there as we progress and our city starts to grow again, but it's not going to get ripped up like we did last time. That was the one and only time I was going to rip up everything and start from scratch. And now we've got quite a lot of space here to fill, so I'm going to start zoning some bits. Now I need to zone in a very specific way to make sure that my power gets distributed properly. So I want to have some commercial here, and you'll see here I've got 2-lane one-way street running all the way through this zone. It loops all the way around the edge, and then as you cut in here, this becomes one-way as well, and then feeds back out to the roundabout there. So I'm going to start zoning in little bits in places like so. And I'm toying with the idea of putting end roads on here and here. Again, we've got so little money left, I kind of want to hang on to what little I've got, just in case. I mean, it's gonna disappear so quickly. We're at a current point of losing $6,000 a day, and that's going to rocket up because of the services that we have in place. Until we get a good couple of thousand people in our city, we're probably going to need around 3,000 to start turning a profit, which is quite worrying. We're going to rack up a lot of debt and really struggle to fight off against potential bankruptcy in the initial stages. But as you can see, I need to zone these in such a way that I can actually link these areas together. Let's go there. Got a school over there. I'm going to turn some of these buildings off as well before we get going. So that's going to get turned off because we're not zoning over here yet. That's my health centre. Need to keep that on. Need to keep those on. Need to keep these on. Let's turn these parks off. They should still transfer the power through, but we don't need those just yet. Let's drop in some commercial. It's probably a little bit too much commercial that we dropped in there. Let's take that one out. But I think that is enough to get us started. And the way that they're all laid out, with this kind of block here, we should be able to transfer power through, and then all of these areas should start linking up, apart from this one which we've turned off. It's not going to be an issue. They should all start linking up together and generating that extra connection. And you can see this will also generate power of its own, which will then feed down here into this area and help power these. I do need, actually, with the last little bit of cash I've got, see, I knew there'd be something. I need to feed that across here. Now, we're not going to have a business, an office set up yet. We've got to let education take hold and get some educated people in before we can start sticking in some offices. But this Strawberry Square is going to be where our offices are. And don't worry about these names: Cherry Square, Strawberry, Rosewood. These are all going to get renamed. So I did say at the start of this series we're going to start doing subscriber names for districts and for main roads and certain areas. I still fully intend to do that, and I'm starting to compile a list of requests that I've already received. If you are definitely interested, do let me know in the comments, and I will add you to the list, and we'll start to allocate areas out. And if you have a preference for what you'd prefer, be it a district or a road or an area, a main road going into a specific area, like I've had one request from someone who's a trucker who wants to have the main road feeding into the industry area. If you want specific suggestions like that, then let me know, and if I can, I'll try and work those in, but no guarantees. So I think we are just about ready to start working on this again. Press play and see what happens. Just want to check I've got all my power connections where they need to be. I've got $3,000 left. I'll put a temporary connection in over here as well. See, it's going to be the easiest way to do this. I think it's just straight down, I think, along the side of Rosewood Square. Just trying to keep everything nice and neat. There we go. So, that, I think, is us ready to unleash our city and see how things go. So, let's get things up and running. I'm not going to watch my money count because I don't want to see it happening to start with, but immediately you can see buildings springing up all over the place. This city... Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Oh, we're at 11,000. How much we're losing a day? 11,000. Ah, that's horrifically expensive. Yeah, we're going to need to really... We've got so many services we are going to need to get hit with that a lot, I think. We're going to need to get a really big population to be able to pay off all of these services. We will be upgrading to... high density where we can. We're going to whack these taxes up as well. I think I can get away with 14% before they complain. High density you can get away with about 15%. Industry 13 is about as high as you can go. I don't know about office. Right, let's try and increase our tax money a little bit. There is our first bit of movement in our new city. It's one of our trash trucks. Still no power in this area just yet, and I can't afford to drop any power lines in. I'm already nearly 22,000 in debt. But as more people start to move in, again, I need kind of people to spawn in these blocks here to link that block to this block, which will then link this all immediately, which will link all of this, hopefully link up to that. Everything else is good. Oh, I know what else I forgot to do. I forgot to do my district specialisation. So Rosewood Square is going to be a forestry district. There we go. Getting some more commercial dropping in over here in our little commercial park, our retail park. Getting closer and closer to getting these two areas linked in Belmont. I hope they hurry up because we are starting to get some very unhappy people without power. We're losing $12,500 a day. Ouch. That is a lot. Our debt is going to skyrocket We just need to fend off bankruptcy for as long as we possibly can, to the point where our city will get a good population of people in and start building and start buying stuff. So there's another bankruptcy offer. I'm rejecting these simply because, I mean, I could take the money, but I'd lose it all almost immediately anyway because of the amount of debt we're incurring at the moment. But I don't want to disable trophies. There are still trophies on this I haven't unlocked yet, and I want to try and work towards those. So that's why I'm disabling them. I'm just checking our junction, see if we can in traffic. There's some whizzing around, more coming up the other ramp. And bizarrely, we've got some traffic that's coming up and using the off-ramp on the opposite side, trying to take like a slightly longer shortcut for some reason. I'm not quite sure why they're doing that, but doing that they are. How are we doing over here? Yes, enough has been done to actually link these together. The daily debt has come down to 11,500, so it's reducing slightly. We need to add in some more residential zoning by the look of it. Let's drop in these blocks. Give people some more choice. Let's also go ahead and pre-zone another commercial block. How's our industry coming on? Well, there's no demand for industry at all yet, but there's still only, less than 600 people in the city. That'll start to change pretty soon, and when it does, we have the zones all laid out with power and water and good road networks already waiting for them. So just got to wait for them to start filing into the city. You can see we're getting some good traffic coming in here. The only thing I'm a little unsure of is this junction here. That might potentially become a bit of a choke point for us, which is why for the residential, the industrial traffic, I created this little entrance point here, because I figured that would be more, more helpful and help alleviate a lot of the traffic issues that we might get, where you get a lot of traffic coming in into here, does what it needs to do, and then go back out this way, and it doesn't get close to this junction over here. So I'm hoping that'll be good. There's the demand for commercial starting to spike again. We have a zone allocated for them. Another bankruptcy warning. I don't know if you can actually physically go bankrupt in this. I've never actually been in debt long enough or high enough to find out. I did dabble with bankruptcy once on Jimsville, and we managed to overcome that pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm a little worried. We are nearly $120,000 in debt already, and we still have less than 1,000 people in our city. So we're still losing money hand over fist. I might have to start playing around with my service budgets a bit. Still no industry yet. I'm surprised at that. I thought we'd have had some by now. Maybe they don't like my taxes. I'm just seeing that debt figure starting to reduce ever so slightly in terms of the daily debt. Obviously the total debt is just skyrocketing still. More demand for residential, so more people are moving in. How are we looking on our zones? Got a few spaces left, but we could probably go ahead and drop in another zone or two. Add those ones there. And as I say, we will get to the point where we'll start to upgrade to to high density zoning to really start cramming people in here. But we've got to get people in here in the first place, and I've got a fair bit of a way to go yet. Definitely getting some good movement around here. Still got a lot of space in the centre here. I had initially thought about putting these parks in the middle, but I might leave them where they are and then just add in some additional streets. Maybe turn this into a little one-way area as well. Yeah, plenty of potential with our commercial zone over here at the moment. Another bankruptcy warning. And we're getting a few complaints about taxes being too high. Alright, let's drop taxes just a touch. That means we'll start losing more money again. Actually, can I do anything with my budgets? Let's have a look. How much power and water are we making compared to what we need? Let's take a look. Water. Oh, we're way above our power, our water capacity. So yeah, let's go into economy and let's trim that water budget right down. Let's drop that down to about 75%. Do the same for nighttime as well. We're pretty low on need for trash at the moment, so we'll drop that down to 80. We've got 2 health centres, which is going to cost us a bit, so let's drop them down to 75 each. Split the load a little bit. We'll do the same with our fire and police. I want to keep the coverage because our city is a little spaced out. Education, need to keep that at 100%. Can't have any impact on roads. Buses, we're going to turn off the bus terminal as well because we don't need that just yet. That'll save us, how much is it? You know, 1,200 a week in terms of just in operating costs, and that'll also slash the operating budget and turn that to 0 because it's not in use anymore. So there you can see our bus budget is now 0. Oh no, it's not. It will be. It will come down. Yeah, because it's turned off now. What else can we affect possibly? That's it. Buses was the last of it. So we'll limit the number of buses as well. We'll drop that down to 50% for when we do start to bring buses in. At the moment, you know, we don't really need any buses running, but it's there for when the city starts to gain a bit of traction. And there you can see our daily debt is now down to just over 9 grand and falling quite quickly. We're over 1,000 people in the city. Do we have any industry yet? We still don't have any industry. Maybe the taxes for the industry are a little too high. Let's drop the taxes down. Oh yeah, 14% they are. Let's drop taxes to 12, and that should hopefully attract some industry, either in Rosewood or Middle Heights. Still fulfilling our residential demand over here in Belmont. Commercial's starting to look pretty crowded. We could probably do with an extra zone. Let's drop that one in there next to the dual carriageway. And immediately that'll start to fill up. I may rework that road a little bit, bring it away a bit before it leads up to the roundabout. I don't know. I don't really want to mess with something that's working. I'm just worried about this, about buildings overlapping onto the road itself. Just visually, it's not going to look quite so good. But we've got a really nice distribution of traffic around here, which is good to see. Do I have a problem with my one-way traffic? Is that's what's stopping stuff from... Oh no, that's... I thought that was industry for a second. It's not. Why don't we have any industry? No, it's all facing the right way, look. Just 0 interest at the moment. Oh, hello. Welcome, we have our first bit of industry, and we can just see a little bit of a demand for it as well. And our daily debt is now just under 6 grand and still falling. No power here yet. Okay, I need to zone in there. Why don't I have power here? Oh, it's not that. I can take that out. They're just not close enough to the pylons yet. As soon as something spawns in one of these little slots just here, we'll be fine. So we've just got to wait for a building to pop up in that area. And then that'll immediately power up the rest of that block. Just over $5,000 a day our current loss. How's our traffic light system working? Seems to be working okay. No major queues. I mean, we don't have much in the way of population. Oh, and look at the demand for residential now. You can see we've got some buildings either going in or upgrading. I think probably upgrading. Yeah, we filled our demand for residential already. Let's add in those 3 strips. And immediately, a whole series of buildings start flooding in here. I do love watching the city grow like this. How's our industry doing? Have we got more stuff spawning in yet? Yes, we've got something that spawned close enough. It's this little tree plant here, look, right next to the warehouse, this plant of trees here. Oh, and there's one there as well, look. Something else just moved in, some bushes. That is actually a business, those bushes, believe it or not. But our industry is starting to take shape over here. Still no traditional industry moving in Middle Heights yet, which is a bit odd. The demand is there. It all seems to be going into lumber at the moment. Okay, that's fine with me. Getting more demand for commercial. You can see the buildings that we plonked along here starting to upgrade. Making just under 5,000 a day loss at the moment. Over $214,000 of debt now. We need to turn the corner pretty soon. We probably need to double our population to even start being able to do that. Let's add in some more zones. Yeah, our logging industry is really starting to come to fruition. Lots of lumber plants in this block here. So now we're just having to play that waiting game again. Waiting for people to move in and start filling up these areas that we've allocated for them. We're not seeing much traffic in our industry yet. That's a trash truck coming to do its little cleaning run. And that debt's starting to go back up even higher again. I'm going to keep rejecting these bailouts. I don't want to disable trophies. And if it means that between episodes I have to sit here for hours and just get to a point where we can make a profit and then sit here for like 6 hours, just let the city gradually claw back that debt, then that's what I'll do. But you know, everything is set here. We've got a lot of space. We've got all the different zone types that we need unlocked, so we can start upgrading. Oh, we're getting power shortages already. Oh, we are. These should be producing 20 each, and they're not. Oh, that's a problem. Alright, we're going to have to adjust our power budget. Damn it. Boost the power to 125%. I didn't really want to have to increase expenses. Oh, I never dropped the night budgets on these, did I? Let's drop our Parks and Rec budget. You can see there our bus budget now is only $360 as opposed to the thousands or so that it was earlier, I think. Road budget, we can't do anything about this. Even if I set this to 50, it stays the same. This is, as I say, simply because this is for road maintenance and snow dump, so we don't have either of those in place yet. So that's pretty much the lowest it's going to go, I think. How's our water? Still very comfortable. And that's dealing with the power issue over here. Look, that's now taken care of. That'll upgrade some houses, improve people's moods. And we're finally starting to get some traditional industry moving in. So that should hopefully increase the amount of money we can make from our industry. It's gradually starting to come together. People complaining not enough customers. I'm toying with the idea of dropping in. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to drop in a high-density residential block just there to feed our commercial block. It'll take a little while for that to come in, but once it does, we'll be in good shape. You can see the first of our high-density residential dropping in there. Very fancy-looking building. And that'll help provide some customers there and potentially even help provide some workers for our industry over here as well. More high density buildings being created. We're still very comfortable with the water. So I'm going to drop the water budget down a bit more. Let's drop it down to 70%. I'm going to drop the trash down to 75%. As the city gets bigger, we're going to have to start pushing that back up again. But so far, we're in pretty good shape. Again, I'm trying to avoid... all I have to do is accidentally hit that button once. You know, to press X, or it pops up as I'm pressing X to do something, and boom, I get 50 grand and trophies are disabled. But at this point, 50 grand is no use to me whatsoever. I'm 250 grand in debt. I need to get the city to a point where it's turning a profit, and you know that daily debt is coming down, but it's still a little way to go yet. Let's go back to taxes. I do have loans available. So I can take out a $60,000 loan here and a $20,000 loan here as well. So once we get the debt down to a more manageable level and we're starting to make good money, I can take these out to get us back into the positive if we need to buy something. But I'm hoping I put this city together in such a way that I won't need to do that. Just whack those taxes up a touch. When it's dark like this, it really is kind of hard to see. Sun's coming up though. You can see the sun rising over the hills. There it is. Getting more power issues. I might have to increase that all the way up to 150. Hopefully our power is going to be a bit more consistent. The stuff that's furthest away, that's drawing power, I don't know why they're the ones that are suffering when it's not the industry over here. That's a bit strange. I'm not going to complain, but just take that building out. What is the situation with... Oh! I don't know if we briefly turned a profit, but I just looked and I saw that we were about minus $1 or something like that. So we might possibly have turned a slight profit, and That's now disappearing again. The wind speed isn't high, so these are only making 14 or 15 when they should be making 20. Need the wind speed to pick up. And here are the complaints about taxes. Look, people complaining their taxes are too high. Industry's not complaining yet. That's good. We'll leave them as they are. I'm going to leave these a little high for a little bit longer, and when I start getting red tax warnings, that's when I'll change them back down. I kind of need to get bus services up and running as well, I think. Alright, let's try and create a bus route. We don't need to use the depot, which is turned off, but we can create a route. So let's have a stop there. What colour line is this? No, I want a blue line because this is my commercial line. Yeah, that's a good colour. I want another stop over here. There we go. We'll run to there. We'll run around Dale Hills to there. And then this is going to run up and down the main road here. So we'll stop there. And I can go and then use that that one-way thing to turn around, and we'll pick up in the same spots on the way back, and then we'll have a stop there and complete the route. There we go. We have a commercial line to get customers into our commercial district. Now I need another line over here. We're getting water shortages. Yeah. So we're going to have to turn the water back on. Let's get something that's going to deal with this industrial area. So I'm going to want to stop here. I want a yellow line for this one. I hate the fact that you have to scroll through randomly generating colours each time. You can't just manually choose a colour. That's something that this really needs to sort out. And this is going to be a nice, simple, straightforward do I need that many stops? No, not really. Let's take that stop out. Let's do that. So just 2 stops, because I then want it to come into here. So I'll stop there. Stop there. There. There we go. And then this will hit the same stops here. I hope. And then the great thing is that we can then just divert these into the depot once the depot is actually back up and running. And then from here, come down and connect that route. There we go. So we have a residential, sorry, an industrial line, a commercial line, and now we need, you know, a line to service each of our 2 residential zones. So let's start with a stop here. Let's make one green. Again, got to cycle through until we get a decent green colour. Well, that's not great, but it'll do. Just kind of go around the district, kind of like this. I want to make it so it's not too far to walk to get to either of these stops. In fact, I'll probably actually pull those ones into the that line there when I actually complete the loop. Let's add a stop there. I'll get these to stop just before, because I'm going to combine my two residential ones on there. And then we'll do a stop there, and then we'll come in this way, connect the routes, and then I'm going to move that to there and do the same with this one here. Yeah, I'll leave that stop there. Okay, so we have one loop. Now we need to do the other one for Cherry Square. So, same again. Find a starting point. Let's make that there. I need again to find a green line. I don't need to, I just want to. There we go. That's a decent green. So we're going to bring this in and we'll get that to stop there. Just have the one stop on that one there. We'll stop just... Where is that stop? It's just there, isn't it? We'll stop here and here and there and there and loop back up. There we go. So two very simple little loops, and that should pick up all the various different people in the various different areas and transport them onto the main road, where they can then get on a commercial bus or an industrial bus just by walking along a few steps. So we have budget issues that we need to deal with. We need to improve our water budget. Let's push that back up to 80. There we go. Our bus budget will stay at 50. It's going to push our expenses up, but it should hopefully improve service. Let's get those taxes down a touch. So they're complaining, they're not. There we go. Another bailout offer. We should hopefully get a little flurry of buses coming out. Yes, we are. Look, there we go. So even with a 50% budget, we're still getting buses out. We're just getting half the number of buses that we would normally. It'll push our expenses up a little bit, but if it can move people around our city a little bit quicker, then that's more important, I think. And we need to boost our power budget all the way up to 150. Which would mean, again, we're going to pay a little bit more, but we kind of need to. We need to keep the lights on. See, even that isn't enough. We're still not generating enough power. We're only generating 51 when we should be generating way more than that. We should be generating 60 plus 150%. We should be generating 90 power, and we're just not. That's terrible. And look at our expenses now, because we've had to boost the power and put the buses on. Now I might have to have a serious rethink about this. I might have to actually turn some services off. Let's turn off this building, and this building, and this building. That'll save us a fair bit in upkeep costs. That'll help drop our expenses down. Can't turn either of these off. I need those. Could turn the cemetery off as well, for now. No one's dead yet. Yeah, let's turn the cemetery off for now. That'll help save a bit of extra cash as well. And cut down on a little bit of power usage. Getting some crime because we've got less cars on the road, police cars on the road, but we do still have them. Oh, look at that, perfect. People are getting off one bus and wow, look at the number of people waiting to get onto the I'm guessing a commercial bus. Oh, some are getting on the industry bus. He's hanging there a long time. There we go. Yep, load of people getting on that bus. Well, that's good. That's going to start moving people around a bit more. Real serious power issues. What the hell is going on with my power? I'm producing 51. I should be generating 90. What is going on with the wind speed? Is it just no wind? Oh, that's awful. I can't afford to bring in any more generators, which I desperately need. I can't even relocate them. Yeah, see, look, they should be doing 20 here. And they're not. They should be doing 20, and then I've got the 150% budget to generate an extra 50%. So I should be generating 90 in total, as opposed to standard 60, and I'm not even hitting 60. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. Producing 52. Okay, I'm going to just kind of keep playing around with this, I think, because we're almost out of time. I'm going to keep tweaking services, turning some buildings on and off. Where's my fire station? Nothing's on fire. Yet. So, let's turn that one off as well. That'll save an extra bit of cash. I just need the city to turn a profit. If I can get it turning a profit, we're in business. I need to zone in more industry, but I haven't got the power to support more industry at the moment. That's not good. Let's start putting in some high density as well. I can get more money tax-wise from high density. Let's take that block out and put in high density there. Let's do the same here. In fact, this one I'll revert that one back to standard residential. There we go. Free up space over here. Yeah, we've got rid of that lack of customers now, but still paying an awful lot more money out than I want to. I will keep working on this and tweaking this and seeing how if there is a way to bring this debt right down. I may have to slash the bus service completely. It's keeping our commercials going at the moment, so I don't really want to do that. But yeah, we'll have a look and see what happens, and I'll be back with another episode of City Skylines Mass Transit, hopefully, very soon.